Macmillan Audio presents The Disappearance of Alistair Ainsworth, a Daughter of Sherlock Holmes mystery, by Leonard Goldberg, read for you by Steve West. One. The Unannounced Visitor. November 1915. There are times when the forces of nature are so fierce, they demand we seek immediate shelter and warmth. Such was the midwinter's night that found us ensconced in our rooms at 221B Baker Street. Outside, the wind howled in powerful gusts, and the rain pelted our windows so intensely it produced a sound reminiscent of fingers tapping on glass. My father and I sat around a cheery fire and tried to distract ourselves from the inclement weather by reviewing an old case of Sherlock Holmes's, which interestingly enough took place on a similar, dreadful night in London some 20 years ago. Holmes believed the wind and rain gave the criminal every advantage, my father remarked. It certainly made the investigator's task far more difficult, said I. Indeed it would, but in ways one might not anticipate. Such as? Beyond the obvious, Holmes had replied when I asked him the very same question. Then he said no more. My father pondered the enigmatic answer briefly before glancing over to my wife. Would you care to decipher that rather cryptic response, Joanna? She was standing by the window and staring out intently at the thoroughfare below, for something had caught and held her attention. What is it you see? My father asked. Cover, Joanna replied. From what, pray tell? From every crime you wish to mention, Joanna said, turning to us. Which is also the answer to your first question. The obvious reason my father believed such weather favored the perpetrator is straightforward. It removes or distorts virtually every clue and track left behind. Give it a moment's thought, and you can readily list the ways foul weather can throw the detective off. A strong wind and rain would certainly wash away any bloodstains or signs of a struggle, I proposed. But there would be other, less obvious advantages as well, Joanna went on. The storm, along with its lightning and thunder, would drown out cries for help or screams of terror, and a heavy mist and rain would blind any eyewitnesses. You must also keep in mind that a lengthy gale, such as the one we are facing, would delay the arrival of Scotland Yard, and give the criminals abundant time to escape and conceal their tracks. I involuntarily raised my hand as a new thought came to mind. Thus far, our discussion has been focused on crimes that occurred outdoors. Would not the dreadful weather be of less hindrance when the evil act is committed indoors? The advantages, although somewhat diminished, would still hold for the criminal, said Joanna. A clumsy investigator, along with a throng of constables, might well track mud and water onto the crime scene, and in the process muck up or eliminate any number of clues. Moreover, the thick walls of an enclosure would further dampen cries for help or screams of terror, which clearly worked to the perpetrator's benefit. And Scotland Yard's response would remain less than prompt, my father noted. All of which explain why foul-weather crimes, for the most part, go unsolved, Joanna concluded. Her attention was suddenly drawn back to the window. She moved in so close her nose seemed to be touching the glass pane. I say, it seems we have a visitor coming our way. My father and I hurried over and peered down at the hansom that had stopped at our doorstep. A hatless man, small and thin in figure, dashed toward the entrance of 221B Baker Street. Who would dare go out in this ungodly weather? I asked. Someone with a most urgent need, Joanna replied. Which obviously cannot. My voice was rendered inaudible by a loud crack of lightning, followed by a clap of thunder and an even heavier downpour of rain. Baker Street became little more than a blur through our window. Moments later, there was a soft rap on our door, and our landlady, Miss Hudson, looked in. Dr. Watson, she said to my father. Dr. Verner is downstairs and wishes to see you on a most pressing matter. Please show him up.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?